experience of LaTeX? Can you just raise your hand? Very, very basic. Okay, thank you. So I just wanted to know this because that will help me that at what level my audience is, so that I can help them out from scratch to something, so that they will be competent enough to maybe write an article, a book, a paper, etc. So without wasting much time, let me share my screen. Yeah. So I hope it's audible to everyone. Okay. And is my screen visible? Online participants? I guess it's visible. Great. So thank you, everyone. And let's get started with our LaTeX workshop. And this is the outline of this session. So we will be learning about uh, introduction to LaTeX, which is what LaTeX is basically for those who have just heard about this term. And probably you might have heard this term in your school days, mainly in rubber technology or processing, where this rubber is made from LaTeX. So this is something which is completely different, and let us try to understand what is the analogy. Then we will know how to get started with LaTeX. So I believe that the coordinators have sent you some instructions about installing LaTeX in your system. But how many have installed a LaTeX editor in your system? Okay, most of you. So those who have not installed a LaTeX editor, we will be using an online editor, and the most popular online editor is called Overleaf. Then we will discuss about the basic document structure. Like, this structure will be common to all LaTeX files. The next, we will discuss about formatting text. Now, formatting text means basically you have different formats for different applications or different documents. Like, for example, a book has a separate format than an application letter. So we will be discussing how do you set different formats in LaTeX. The next topic will be about sections and paragraphs. So, like when you write a long document like a book or a paper or a report, so you have certain things. You don't just write in one go. You have different paragraphs, you have different sections, and how LaTeX automatically formats those sections, and how LaTeX automatically gives numbers to your sections, that we will discuss. The next is about lists and bullet points. So Sometimes we used to write notes, like note about a specific topic or notes about some event, but also we prefer to write lists, like what are the things which need to be done, a to-do list or a shopping list. So how LaTeX handles those kind of documents professionally, that we will study. And then the seventh slide, I think it's of utmost importance. It's about math equations. And this is mainly useful for people working in engineering and mathematics and physics. And these disciplines require a lot of equations. Specifically, when you write a research article, you will have a lot of equations, and handling such equations uh, in other document editing format is kind of difficult. So here you will see that how LaTeX handles equations very professionally. Then about figures and tables. Figures and tables are essential components in many documents such as books, reports, research proposals, etc. And there is an old proverb which you might know that a picture tells more than 1,000 words. So uh, picture in a document conveys a lot of important meaning, and often we people are in hurry, so we do not like to read a lot of text. So in that case, if the document has a picture in it which represents what is the content of the text, then it will be easy for the reader. Similarly, tables help us summarize the content in a meaningful way. So we will understand how to insert figures and tables in a document. And then coming about bibliography and citation, this is one of the most important aspect of LaTeX, because whenever you write a technical document, you have to cite some standard literature. Like if I say the sun rises in the west instead of rises in the east, so you will not believe, because you know that it's a standard thing, it's a fake false thing. But if I say that the country which produces more red roses is Japan, so if I say this statement, I need to have some proof that this article says this, and this is the meaning of referring and authenticating your claim. So we will understand how LaTeX helps us referencing articles automatically, and how is it better than other competing document editors. And then finally, we will have some question answers. So let's begin. So before that, if you have any questions or queries, please feel free to ask. Okay, I assume that we can start. So, introduction to LaTeX for beginners. So the first question comes, what is LaTeX? And in the screen, you can see it's written typesetting beautiful documents with LaTeX. And that's a very catchy phrase, which I've obtained from somewhere in the net. But what is LaTeX? So LaTeX came from the word Lamport text. So even it is spelled that latex, LATEX, but it's pronounced as latex, not latex. And there is a reason. So the reason is that there was a team of computer scientists who were trying to uh, make a software which can uh, properly represent symbols, and they wanted to have a catchy name for this software. So they started with the three Greek letters tau, epsilon, and chi. So From the uppercase Greek letters tau, epsilon, and chi, they named this software tech. And remember that X is representing the capital chi. So that's why it's pronounced as tech, not text. And then Lamport was a computer scientist who actually uh, like improved over this for other applications of document editing. Thereby, this La comes from Lamport, and that becomes LaTeX. So it's called LaTeX. And so now we know what is the etymology of LaTeX. What is it basically? It's a typesetting system which creates documents which of professional quality. Now, what is professional quality? So, let me remind you of an incident when I was doing my undergraduate. I was doing my BTech from NIT Rourkela, and I was to submit my BTP report. And after doing the work, when I wrote the BTP report in Microsoft Word and submitted to my supervisor, he just said that, what is this? Like, at that time, I was pretty novice. So then he told me that he showed me a document and told that this is how you write a professional report. And then I realized that what I wrote and what a professional report is, there's a huge gap. And by professional report, if you are confused, then you can read any standard book. You will see that the margins are like very much aligned. The numbering looks so neat, and there is uniformity in the context. So LaTeX is a tool which takes the headache of formatting your document so that you don't need to take care of the margins. So if you have used Microsoft Word, I guess most of you have used or using Microsoft Word. Obviously, it's an excellent tool and it's a powerful tool to do a lot of document editing. But when it comes to professional documenting, so Microsoft Word, you have to manually do a lot of things like adjusting the spaces, adjusting the borders, and the most irritating part is like sometimes you add labels of figures. So say you have four figures: figure 1, figure 2, figure 3, and figure 4. And say you want to add a figure in between figure 1 and 2, then manually you have to change every other figure, like figure 2 becomes then figure 3, and this process repeats as long as you add any figure in between. And the same applies to anything like equation, table, or something. Although Microsoft Word has features to automatically number them, but still there are issues with formatting. So we will see how simple LaTeX is and how beautiful documents LaTeX creates. And initially you will feel that it's difficult, especially people who is not having any programming experience. But I'll tell you, it's pretty simple. Just you need practice. So as we say that LaTeX is particularly popular for academic papers, thesis, research articles, and technical documents. So research papers, thesis, obviously you should be writing in LaTeX because that saves a lot of effort, unnecessary things, and the formatting looks good enough. And while formatting is important, it's not that formatting is very important, but it gives a pleasant look to the reader. And if the write-up is not good, even though your research work is good, if you present it in a very bad manner, then the reviewer will not get impressed to read it, and he may be biased with your article. He may feel that you have not put enough effort to format the article properly, and hence, even though your work is good, it may not get that push. However, if a work may not be excellent work, it may be a substandard work, but when you write the paper in the LaTeX and the formatting is very professional, sometimes it good feels good to read it in spite of the work may be of substandard quality. So that's what I was telling. The benefits of LaTeX is uh, high quality typography, and the mathematical symbols and equations, they are like really professional. So with this, let's go to the next activity, which is installing LaTeX. So there are three options. So most of you are on Windows. Some are using Mac or Linux. If anybody is in Mac or Linux, so you can, so Windows, if you want to have a desktop version of a software, you can install as per the link which we had sent you. But those who have not installed, nothing to worry about it. We will use an online editor like Overleaf to get started. But before that, there is a confusion with beginners that what is the LaTeX installation? Is it the MikTeX or the MacTeX? Is that's the LaTeX, or the TextWorks, Text Studio, Overleaf? That's the LaTeX. So, uh, how many of you are from software engineering background? Okay. For others, it's nothing to worry. So, in software engineering, there is something called front end and something called back end. Do you realize that? Like, take any app, say your banking application. So what you have a front end where you need to enter your username and password, and there is a back end which has a server, and that will check whether the entered username and password are matching in the content in the server, and then there is a validation by OTP, and so consider another example of, say, Facebook app or Instagram app. So you to enter your username and password. That's the front end. The front end is something which the user sees. The back end is something which the user does not see. So similarly, in LaTeX, the LaTeX backend is your MikTeX. So that contains your all the database, that this command means do this command means do that. And the editor like TextWorks, Text Studio, Overleaf, these are your front end. This is where you write your LaTeX commands. So with this, let's get started with our first LaTeX script. So open overleaf.com. So everybody opened Overleaf, or anybody is having any doubt? Those who have installed their LaTeX, like say TextMaker, they can open TextMaker. So you have this TextMaker, you open TextMaker. And those who do not have, they can use overleaf.com. So how many of you got this screen? Not this screen, because these are my projects, but at least got this overleaf.com/project. How many of you? If you ask me, I can zoom my screen so that it will be helpful. Everybody could open this overleaf.com, and now you have to log in. So did you log in? Let me ask the online people. Yeah, there is a chat. Okay, installed, sir. Thank you. So, are you able to log into Overleaf, everyone, or anybody is having any doubt? So, so once you get this, there is a new project at the left. And for those who are using TextMaker, here you get file, and here you can create new. So I would recommend those who are using internet to use Overleaf, because then you don't have to issues of any packages or modules. But nevertheless, if you are having internet device, then you can use this Overleaf. Sorry, you can use the TextMaker, and it's the same thing. So click on New Project. So volunteers, can you just have a check whether if anybody is having any issue, and press on blank.
External participants who you might have already received the mail regarding Wi-Fi username and password. You can connect IITG Wi-Fi using those credentials. External participants, are you able to connect to IITG Wi-Fi? If not, kindly let us know. We will help you out.
In case you are not able to connect to Wi-Fi, then or internet, then you can use the offline editor, provided that is installed. All are done. Great. So click on this new project, and let me name this project as let me name this project as LaTeX workshop. Okay. So here you see there is already something called uh, LaTeX workshop, and it took my name as author. Did you get this? some comments is installed. Okay, fine. Okay, so let me write the introduction. So introduction, I'll just greet you all. Hello class, welcome to your this workshop. You can write. Welcome to this workshop. I am eager to teach you LaTeX. And if I press on recompile, so you see, you got something, correct? So just a small, so could you all do this? Who could not do? Uh, can someone help her?
Can you just make this window wider so that
I'll make this bigger. Are you able to see? Let's not. So this is just beginning. So we will learn everything from scratch. Don't worry. All of you got this? How many could not get this? Please raise your hand. Hitesh, can you check? And for those who have got this running, congratulations, you have created your first LaTeX document. Text maker. Okay, so text maker, what you need to do is just you just copy this content. So you did new. So just need to run this. So I have to save this as demo shop. So text maker, could you get it? In text maker also, this is what you get. Yeah. So for zooming it, let me check editor font size. Let's see. Is it fine? Is it fine? This is not required as of now. So just wait. One candidate is not able to do it. So because once he does it, so that we can all move together. Hitesh, is he able to make it? Okay, let him do it. I'll just make a small change. So I'll just make a very small change. So here you have seen LaTeX. So this is how the PDF comes out. Are you able to see the PDF? Okay. So I'll just do one thing. In this LaTeX word, I'll just put a slash. I'll just put a slash. So now you see this is how your LaTeX looks like. When I put this slash and after I recompile, let's see what happens. So we did not get anything. We got some error. So let's try this. Let's try this. L capital, T capital, and X capital. And now let's recompile. And are you able to see that this style of this word LaTeX has changed? Are you able to see? PDF, I'm not able to zoom right now. I don't know how to zoom this PDF. Let's see. PDF only. Yes. This is fine. Is this fine? Okay. So now the next thing. Next thing is now how to access this PDF online. So there is a download PDF button. Can you see here? So just press this download PDF and your PDF goes to your download folder, LaTeX workshop. So just double press on that and you see your PDF has come. Okay. So we just started building LaTeX. So now something more important. So here you see that in date you have mentioned something like September 2023. But suppose say this is the last day of September, 30th September, and tomorrow you don't want it to be September, you want it to be October. So again you need to change it, isn't it? So is there a better way to do it? Let's see. Okay, let me do it in the overleaf, same thing. So let me see what happens. See, you got the present date. Could you see? So if I write today, then it fetches me the present date. And tomorrow, if you compile this, it will automatically make it September 10. So like writing letters, this is very important. So when you write an application letter, you often feel feel like you have to change the date every time. So after say even after say 15 days, if you write a letter, the date has to be changed, and you have to keep that in mind that you have to change the date. But we people are often lazy and we just want to change the content, and we feel that the other things should change automatically. And in the age of AI, you feel that automation should be as much as possible. So this is one way where LaTeX automates things. So if you just put date today, so it will like take the current date. So if I compile it even after 3 months, so it will take that specific date. So this is one thing, one new thing which you have learned. Okay. So I request you all to note down or paste these things in a separate, say, notebook file or a Word file, or create different LaTeX files so that you remember these things and you can revise. Okay, so let's go back to the next slide. So we finished slide 2, now slide 3, which is a basic document structure. So far you or we created a LaTeX file. Hello, is it working? Yeah. So far we have created a LaTeX file without having any basic understanding of what the commands are. We just got the ready-made structure, we wrote something, and we got a PDF output. And that looks easy, but at the same time heavy. Like if I want to make something else, how would I do it? So for that, let's try to understand the basics. So to understand the basics, so I'm closing this, or let this be. I'll mainly focus on the overleaf. So the first line says document class. All of you can see it, document class. And I wrote article. So here I am writing an article, but always you can change this document class. So this document class tells you that what are you writing. So if I change this document class from article to report, let's see what happens. Now see, like in a report, your first page is your title page, and it has dedicated a whole first page for your title, author name, and date. And uh, your content starts from the second thing. What if I make it a book? So book has also same thing. Now we have page numbers. You can see there is 2 here. So we learned 3 document classes: article, book, report. Let's make it letter. So in letter, you don't have this. So now you get error for this make title and section. So this is very evident that in letter you don't have these things. Now let us recompile. So this is a letter without any such things. You can also have things like question paper. Question paper is, I think, this is not the class. I think the class is exam. So this is another class where you can actually create a question paper. So those who are aspiring to become faculties, they'll be needing this document class. Okay. So now we know what is a document class. Let's get back to article. And there is one more class called Beamer. Beamer is for making presentations. So now you see this is like a PPT. Could you see the slide format? It's like a PPT. So Beamer will be taught by uh, someone who is will be taking your afternoon session. So I'll just I have just introduced you that these are just the tip of the iceberg. So there are a lot of custom classes, and each journal has their own custom document class. So let's get back to article, class article. Okay. Now, do we have a question in the chat box? No. Okay. Now, there are many things which you can, or many options you can say, you can have with your document class. One example is this. Two side, two column article. So in general, the structure is any command. So something in the curly braces and something in the square brackets. So these curly braces means what you are trying to make, like slash document class article. That is enough to create this document class article. This is good enough to create this article. But if you want to add some options, like for example, you see the font is very small. Now instead I want to make this font bigger. So instead of 10, I want this to be 16 point. I can make this 16 point, and after compiling, you see this has increased. If you want to make it 24 point, it will increase. So I think 24 point is not allowed. So up to 12 is allowed. So now see it's a little bigger. Okay. Two side means that suppose you want to print this as a book. So if you see a book, are the margins same for odd and even pages? No. So if you make it two side, then in both the pages, odd pages will have bigger margins at the left and even pages will have bigger margins at the right. And do you know why this is? Because you will be stapling or binding the book. So there has to be more gap at those regions. Okay. Now let's make it more interesting. Let me make this two column. Why two column? Because in many articles you have seen that things are in two columns, right? So now you see that this text has shifted to the left column. Is somebody pinging? No. Okay. So let me write something more so that it will be helpful for you. So, hello class, welcome to this workshop. I'm eager to teach you LaTeX. We have already discussed around an hour and already learned how to make a basic document. We also know how we can create a PDF file from the LaTeX. And now when I recompile, so you will see something has come. PDF file from the LaTeX, where the thing is not come. Ah, okay, so let me now. So this is what we have. So so the next thing is your title. So if you remove these two columns, let me see whether we get a title for this article. So we don't get a title for this article, which says that if you have these two sides, then in report you will not have this title. But if I make this an article, will this title come? No, it is still not come. So is this a problem with this document class? No, because I have not given the command to make title. To make title, I have to give. Now you see that title will come. So this is a crucial thing in your LaTeX document. If I write this make title, it will create the title, create the author, and create the date. But if you remove this make title, then it will not create this. What about report class? Report class is same, just as I said that it will create a separate page for the report, like this. Okay. So let us resume with article. Now, what is the next thing which we are interested to learn? So begin document, end document. So this is actually your main LaTeX code. This is your main LaTeX code. Everything which you write inside this actually is what you will get in the PDF. Suppose if I write I am happy, let us see what happens. So it says I am happy, but you get an error saying that missing begin document. And if I write this here, like I am happy, if I try to compile this, I get an error, missing begin document. So every text should be within the begin document and end document. Same thing if I write it after end document, this I am happy will not come. So anything which you write should be within this begin document and end document. So this is clear. Okay. Next important thing is about numbering pages and page styles. So this you can do it by writing this command, this page style. So this is your first page and you have a page number 1. Now say I make this command, this page style. If I write empty and recompile this, so I get an error. So it says that undefined control system. So what happened is it is not able to recognize this page style. What if I do this before? Now I got this working without any error. Now you can see that this means there will be no header and footer in this specific page. You know what is a header and footer? Header and footer means something on the heading and something on the foot. So what are the other options of uh, one is plain. Instead of empty, let us put plain. And then if I compile this, so now you have this as a plain. So in plain, what happens is, so there are no page headers, footers, but footers consist of a centered page number. So you can see there is a centered page number here. Okay. And then there is one more type called headings. So with headings, what happens is, now you can create some headings like mark left and put something like left header. Let's see. So we get a left header, but it should be inside begin document. That is why it gave an error. So we will put this inside this. So you see that whenever you open a book, you see that there are some headings at the top. Did you see? In a book, did you see there are some headings at the top? Like it can be either the chapter number or section number. So this is actually how you make this. So we can also use mark both. Left header, right header. So why this header is not coming? If I do this before this, let's see. Okay, maybe I have to like write the whole page and then we will get it. Anyway. So anyway, so the basic takeaway is that we have a document class to begin with. And then we have a begin document and end document. Within that, you have to write your content. And then there are page styles like empty, plain, and headings. Okay. So can we have a 5 minutes break and we can begin? After? Okay. So meanwhile, we can resume with the next slide. And yes, empty and the plain command is that empty will have no headers and footers. Yeah, it should not happen. Let me check. Um, okay, so by default, it has to be this has to be there. This I'll come after in the subsequent slides. Now see the page number is gone. Yeah, so this empty comes with this, like this page numbering. Since I have not taught this, so I'll be teaching that in the subsequent slide. And I'll also explain why this is used. Because suppose when you're writing a book or thesis, so your first page will start from your first chapter, right? And but before your first chapter, there will be a lot of pages, like your table of contents, your title page, and of course, you don't want to have a page number on your title page, correct? So for that, you need to use these commands that we will like learn in the subsequent slides. So say we can learn it now itself. So page numbering is Gaukel, but we need to create some content so that we can actually appreciate that the page numbering is changing. Otherwise, just with one page, these are very difficult to appreciate. So Hitesh, can we have a break now or after 15 minutes? Okay, fine. So uh, the next is about formatting texts. And let us first try to learn the theory. So text, as you know in Microsoft Word also, so a text can be bold, can be italic, and it can be underlined, correct? Okay. And the next thing which you want to really play with text is the font size. Like you actually increase the font, decrease the font. So here are some typical commands for font size and outputs. And similarly for text also, there are some commands and something in the math mode. But let us try to play with this. Now the obvious question you will ask that I've already put a 12 point as my font size. So suppose everything is in 12 point. So what will I do? Suppose this hello class, I want to make this big. So let's see. So can we use some font? So let's say I make it huge. I make it large. This large with this small L. So and this. So you see everything became large. So that is because even though my normal font is 12, but since I have put large, so this will override that class. So how to get back that? to normal again. So there is something called normal size. So you can just write normal size and it will follow normal size after that. So you see that hello class is large and the remaining is in normal size. Now what is normal size? This is the 12 point, this is the normal size. Let me make this more bigger. So here you see that there are two large. There are three large, in fact. One is a large with small, everything small. One is a large with a capital L, and one is a large with everything in capital. And then there is a huge, and there is a huge with capital H. So what will happen is, so this large, let us try to make this L capital and then recompile. So now observe. So this has even increased further. To have a comparison, let's have this large, normal size. So could you like figure out that these font sizes are different? And what if we make this all capital large? Let's see what happens. Now this is even bigger. Let's make it huge. So suppose you want to emphasize some word very big. So you can use these kind of things. What about this huge? This is the hugest. Okay. So then there are things like from the other spectrum. So let's make it tiny. Let's see what happens. So could you appreciate? This is very small. Then script size. It has been a bit bigger, but still very small. So these you basically used to write these footnotes and things where you need to compress. This is useful. What about small? Let's make it small. Okay. Feels good? Okay. So now we will do something called bold. So let's say something, we all are waiting for a break. And let's make this in bold. You can just press Ctrl V or you can write text BF. And this will, if you recompile this, you will see that this becomes, we all are waiting for a break. This is in bold. And then we can use something in italics like, but Hitesh asked us to wait for 15 more minutes. And we can make this italics just by pressing Ctrl I, or you can write text IT. And see, this has become italics. And then we can do something which is similar but which is not same. That is good. We are still learning. And here I will not use bold or italics. I'll use something called EMPH, emphasize. And now you see that this is also italicized, but there is a difference between let's see whether I can zoom. If I zoom this, it's zooming the editor, not this part. Let me download and let me huh? Where is the zoom option? Okay, yeah. Okay. So so now is it visible? So here we have different font sizes, and then we did something on bold, then something in italics, and then something emphasized. So you will be asking natural question that what is the difference between text IT and EMPH? Both look the same. But actually, for this case, both are same. But in other document classes, you can define your emphasis to be different. Like in Beamer, if you put EMPH, it actually makes it something else. Let's check out how what it makes. Beamer. Let's see what it makes. So see, now Beamer, it made it this, and still it is same only. But in several document classes, this EMPH and italics will be different. Also, if I want to have this term as italics, sorry, and here say let's see what happens. So it's still the same. What if we emphasize Hitesh here? It's still the same. So it's in Beamer, right? So let's make it article. So now you see that in italics, inside italics, if you want to make something upright, a specific word, you can use this EMPH. So although this sentence is italics, but this word Hitesh is upright because I have put this at EMPH. Similarly, in emphasis, if I emphasize within an emphasis, this becomes, so emphasis is basically used to toggle your italics and upright. So what about the fonts? So let's try each font. So RM is Roman font. So before that, one more, this is distracted. So let's try. So I need to have new line for this. So double slash will make it a new line. So I'll have these two sentences in separate lines. Let's see what happens. So now by these double slashes, I push this thing to a new line. And what else do we have? So let's see the other fonts. Now I am teaching students to master different fonts. It may be written like this or like this or even this. And with every line, I will shift that to a new line. So see, I have shifted everything in new lines. Now I will use the typical fonts. Like for example, uh, text RM. Text RM is the normal Roman font family, which is the default font. This one. You have heard of text new Roman, that is the default font. Now say sans serif form, it will look like this, text SF. Let's put it text SF. And this line looks separate. See, the font has changed. And what is the next? So typewriter, text T. Text PT. Let me check how this behaves. So this is the typewriter font, like this. Are you getting this? Okay. And then small capitals, SC, text SC. This is small capital where are you getting this small capital thing? And what else? Bold we have already seen, text BF, and slanted shape maybe text SL. So this is not italic, this is just slanted shape. So are you appreciating the difference between italics and slanted shape? Okay. Okay. So then about something like that. Now let us try out something in math mode. We can construct something like a, a symbol, and let's see. So this is Math RM, which is upright. This is same. Math italic is just italic. Math BF is bold. Math SF is sans serif. Math CT is typewriter. Same thing. Let's try this Math Cal. This is very important. Let's see whether it works or not. So it did not work. It gave error. So MathCal is allowed only in math mode. Now we are going to learn a new thing. What is math mode? It sounds very like catchy that math mode is something rocket science, but actually it's very simple. You just need to, yes. somebody wants to say something? Hello. Okay, so math mode is simply you insert $2, and anything which you write inside dollars becomes math mode. So now let us try something in math mode, and this is math mode. So math cal is something. So I'll begin the math mode for this just math cal, just to make you understand what is math cal. So have you read books where it's written this is a set of integers, and there the set of integers is usually represented by z. Let us write z. So if I just write z, if I don't write math cal z, if I just write z, what does it do? It's simple as z, an upright z. Now let us do the same thing in math mode and check what happens. By math mode, I mean inside two dollar signs. Now see what happens. So Z has become something italics, and usually you see that this becomes italicized. Okay. Now, if I make this math cal Z, let's see what happens. Now see, this Z is something pretty odd. It looks nice. Looks like those comic book figures or typical math figures where use these symbols to make people afraid of maths. So we have some more math cal things like the real number r. If you put r under in the math cal, what happens? This is r. So there are some more things in math mode which we will discuss soon. So math cal is like it's a calligraphy font, and I guess now you have a better understanding of this math cal. So let us move on to the next slide. So let me pause and ask you, do you have any questions or doubts, or like whatever I have taught so far, are you like able to understand? All good? Yeah. Mark both. That we will discuss in detail. Okay. You will get. So did you like how many pages did you write? So if with one page you will not appreciate that. Let us write something more. So where mark both is typically used is, have you seen books where one page you have the chapter name and the other page you have the section name? Or sometimes one page you have the chapter name, the other page you have the name of the book. So there mark both is useful. Okay, and we will like get that. Some questions from the. Okay. So any other doubts? Okay, that's a interesting thing. So we can try that out. Let's see smaller how it does.
Sir, sir,
Gave us something entirely new thing. Yeah, who? Somebody from the
sir,
online?
yes, sir. Sir, why you use the mathcal just to make the words sketchy, or is there any other use, sir?
Okay, so there are a lot of use of this math cal. This is a type setting which is called calligraphy. Calligraphy is a special kind of writing font which is typically used in mathematics. And one of the easiest way or common practice I'll tell you. So say you use a lot of mathematical symbols to derive something, for example, and say you are using some quantity like radius and some quantity like resistance. So in such cases, you typically use capital R for resistance and small r for radius. And say you have one more factor which is begins with R, like some quantity which begins with R, which you need to use the symbol R. Now your normal capital R and small r are already reserved, already gone. So you can use this mathcal R instead of this normal R to represent that symbol. That is the most popular use. The second use is when you want to show that x is a real number. So x in mathcal R. And this is typically you get in many books that x is a real number. Also say x is a complex number. So mathcal Z is typically used. And this means x is a complex number. And we will learn more symbols and alphabets very soon. So this is one use.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So let's start with formatting paragraphs. So the general structure is the first is sections and chapters. So if you are having a report or a book document class, then you will have chapters. Not in reports. Reports, it's not called typically chapters, but say um, in books you have chapters, whereas in articles you don't have chapters. You have sections, subsections, and then we have paragraphs. We have line spacing, and the next concept is page numbering, and that also we have already discussed and we will discuss more. And the most important thing is the page size and margins, which we will use a package geometry. So let's get started with section and chapter. So suppose I am writing an article like this. So far I just wrote it in a like random way. Now let's say this is our first section, and section is introduction. And then we discussed about introduction, and then the next section will be document paragraphs. So this is where I will teach you how to construct separate paragraphs in your document. Let's recompile. Okay, so you can see that there are two sections which are already created. The first section is introduction and the second section is document paragraphs. Fine. Now, say I want to create a subsection. So here, say for this, so this I have introduced to you all, and then here we had some fun section. So can write this subsection, and in this subsection, what title can we give to this subsection? The subsection is missing, and let's say recompile this, and we got a subsection. Wait. So Hitesh is missing is our subsection, and it has already created 1.1 because it's your first subsection, and then your next subsection is continuing without this, and see it had automatically numbered, and see if I want to make this a subsection using math mode. So now you can see that it's automatically numbering this. So now what? Let's see. So we created a lot of these things and it automatically did the numbering. We did not have any pain in doing it. Let's see, can we have a table of contents? Table of contents. Let's see. So it created contents, and see it looks so beautiful. But since it was global, so you don't have any page numbers. Now say, if I make this a report, let's see what happens. So report, it began with 0.1. Why it's 0.1? 0.1 because there is no chapter name. So if I make a chapter, and this is first session. Now you see everything is in a new page. So this is your first page. This is what we have, and introduction, and the contents are Hitesh is wishing, continuing with Hitesh, using math mode, then document paragraphs. But the main essence of content is you should have page numbers, and we already did page numbering Gobble. So we will create our page number after table of contents, and here we will have our page number to be Arabic. This is what the page number Arabic is. So now you see we have the page numbers, but we hang on. So we got page number from the table of contents, but we don't want this to have a page number. So we should start after chapter this. So this should have your page number 1. And now see, this is having your page number 1, your first chapter. chapter 1, first session. It has page number 1, and we have 2 pages in our document. And see, this is your content. Now I want to have something in my contents page, and if you see that contents and front matters, they have page numbering, but they are not in Arabic. So I'll make that page numbering Roman. So here I have Roman page number. So PhD students who are in there, like after 3 years, they can start writing your thesis right away in this workshop, because this is technically a thesis format. So you have your workshop name, then you have your chapters, and like this, so on. So what else do we have? Okay, so then you see that Roman we discussed. So there is something called capital Roman, like capital R. And so here in this, you have this small letter Roman I. If you change this to capital R, it will take the page number in capital Roman. But usually it's in small Roman, so let's keep it as smaller. What else we have? We have Arabic. We have alphabetic. So alphabetic page numbers are also possible, like A, B, C, right? So this you can actually like have it. And gobble means you don't need any page number. Okay. So then about spacing. Before spacing, we will say about pair. What is pair? So see, in these cases, so like this, now I am teaching students to master different fonts. So here I have used double slash, and what it did is it came to the next line. So instead of double slash, if I write par, it will help us create a new paragraph. What is the meaning of this paragraph is, see, there is an indent in the before it. There is an indent, which means it's a new paragraph. But double slash will just make it a new line, not a new paragraph. So if you need a new paragraph, use type /par. If you need a new line, then double slash. Okay. So maybe we can, since this is a new paragraph, we can remove these double lines and check how it behaves. So now it behaves like a new paragraph. Okay. Now, if you see the whole content, so I may need to change my spacing, line spacing. And for this, what I need to do is, you need to use this package set space. So far, we haven't used any packages. So we started with the document class, then title, author, date, then page style, and then begin document. So it's a good practice to use some spaces to make it look good. And here I will use the packages. And the first package is use package set space. So set space will set the space. And one typical spacing can be 1/2 spacing. If I use 1/2 spacing, let's see what happens. So now you see there is the gap between the two lines, the spacing has increased. I think you can appreciate this. And this is what's happening. First session, introduction, document paragraphs. So here I can say that now we have discussed the methods to create paragraphs and new lines. We also tried out the spacing and how to use a LaTeX. Use this. Package. Great. Now the next thing. So next is using this geometry package. So what this geometry package does is it will create this frame outside your document. So what this does is, say, I have used this package. Now I can change the geometry like legal paper, landscape, margin 2 inch. First of all, legal paper. So you know that while printing documents, we come across different paper sizes. So one is an A4 paper. Then there is something called legal paper. Legal paper is usually used for making legal documents. Like when you go to the court and when you like say want to file a notice, then you have to make it in a legal paper. And this I have changed to landscape mode. Now you see that if I decrease this, so this is a legal paper and this is now in a landscape mode. And now see we have many pages and the formatting is different. Yeah. Okay, fine. So just 2 minutes. So instead of landscape, you can again come back to portrait, to our favorite portrait. And this is back to portrait, but hang on. Now the text area is very small and we have a lot of gaps. And this is because of this margin. This margin is 2 inches. What about a margin of 0.2 inch? Now it has like very bad. It's looking very like ugly. So you can play with this margin. Maybe a margin of 1 inch is a good one. Maybe 1.5 would be a better one. Yeah. So in this geometry package, you can also set the width and height of your documents so that it will restrict it. Okay. And now this looks pretty good, pretty decent. Okay. So maybe we can have a small break and we will resume with we'll resume something more. We'll learn something more. Okay.
refreshments are provided outside. You can in case someone has missed signing this attendance, you can be assigned this while leaving.
अभी बैठ के इधर उधर करवा दो ये सिस्टम को यहाँ करना है, कैसे करेंगे? बंद कर दो। ईयरफोन अब ये मैं ईयरफोन तो मैं पकड़ रहा हूँ।
Now it will be starting at 2 p.m.
No, no, no. The session still continues for this. Around 12:30 it will continue for this. Because the session is not completed yet. चार्ज होगा? हाँ, यहाँ से करना पड़ेगा। इधर से होगा। ये जाएगा ना वहाँ पे? हाँ जाएगा। इधर पोर्ट इधर है क्या ये पोर्ट? वही है। सही। इधर 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 सही? हाँ। प्रोडक्ट डिलीवरी करना है। 9,000 का कुछ ऑर्डर किए थे, देखिए ये मंदिर दे दिया। वाटर एक दो बोतल चाहिए सर को बोल देना। तो भैया को एक दे। हाँ उनको दे देता हूँ, ठीक है? उनको दे दो एक काम।
While you were missing, I used your name.
It's okay.
So okay, I think it's visible.
Oh yes, it is amazing. Actually, the team is handling all these things. Yeah, sometimes this kind of thing.
Just to make some like
It's okay.
Humor.
I can understand.
which is
Yeah, please.
so. How is the feedback over there?
We'll do more practice after lunch.
Yeah.
Obviously, error will come. Many people are writing spelling mistakes.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. Hello, 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 hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, so we are back for the session. I'll give you a couple of minutes time to settle down.
what time do you continue?
15 minutes.
15 minutes, okay. That's okay.
So welcome back.
Hello, welcome back.
So the next thing we will be learning is how to make bullets. Am I audible?
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So say we make a list of things in everyday life, and the list can be usually ordered list, like this is the first thing I will teach, then this is the second thing I'll teach, or it can be unordered list, like just these are the things to be done. So I'll give an example of an ordered list and an unordered list. So document paragraphs we have done. The next thing is so let us use a subsection here, and this will be introducing lists. Okay. So first list. So you go to a mall or you go to a shopping market and you want to buy some item. So you have something in mind. So we'll prepare a shopping list, and while preparing the shopping list, the order is not so important. Like you can buy fish first and then your onions, or you can buy onions and then fish. So let us create a shopping list using LaTeX. Here is an example of a shopping list. So shopping list is usually unordered. So I'll use something like itemize. So I will write begin itemize. So you can see that the moment I typed begin itemize, and there is a bullet coming here. And let us write our first item. So the first item may be paneer. And then for the next item, I have to type item, and then I can write something like onion, and then I need to buy some milk packet. I need to buy some potatoes. I need to buy some tomatoes and say some chilies. And if I compile it, you see a beautiful list appears. Okay. Now suppose I want to bring everything from in this page, new page.
So what will I do? Before this section where these document paragraphs begin, I'll just write /new page. And that will create a new page. So you see that this ended here and everything starts in a fresh page. So this is a shopping list. Now I want to have a daily activity list, and that has an order. Like after I wake up, what are the things I'll do? So after I get up from the bed, these are the things I do. Then I'll do. So if I do itemize, that will do, but I want to list them as numbers so that they are ordered. So instead of itemize, I'll use enumerate. And first is brushing teeth. Then I'll have a cup of tea with biscuits. Then take a shower. Then pack the bag, drive to office. And see, there is a significant difference in these two. So here I have bullets, and when I use enumerate, I have numbers. Now suppose I forgot, I want to add something in between. Say, have a cup of tea with biscuits and take a shower. Between these two, I want to add one thing, that do exercise and read newspaper. So you see that everything will be automatically numbered. Like this. So you see the formatting is so neat. Okay. Now, so could you like get this? So what I insist is that make your custom list so that you will be more confident. Instead of just copying whatever I have written, let's say, say for example, in this shopping list, so onion, potato, tomato, chilies, these items are similar items, and this comes to the vegetable shop. So, and paneer, milk packet are milk products. So this I want to take them to another shop, like from some grocery shop. Say also I need maybe biscuits. So I can have a nested itemize. So I will do a begin itemize, and here vegetables, and inside vegetables I'll put onion, I'll put these. Similarly, I'll put groceries, and then I'll again put begin itemize, and then all this I'll put it here. And what else? This should be, say, mustard oil, maybe. Now let us see how it formats. So see, the formatting is so beautiful. And then again, say inside chilies, you want to make 2 more types of chilies. So again, I can again put itemize and say I need red chilies and green chilies. Let's see what it does. So you see that there are different levels, and with each level you have different style of bullets. Biscuits also, let's say I want 2 different kinds of biscuits. Say I want a rusk biscuit, I want a cream biscuit, and I want Marie biscuit. So see, so this is how beautifully it has structured. So here also I need to divide this do exercise. So in do exercise, I'll say again I'll use enumerate, and the one exercise can be neck exercise, one can be breathing exercise, and one can be arms and leg. So see, it has like divided it into different options, and now you have separate levels. Is it visible? So now again, if you feel that this ordering is not important here, I just need bullets here. So instead of enumerate, I'll replace them with itemize. So now you see there are bullets. So I think today it's so today it was like much to take, and let us just recap in 5 minutes what we have learned. So we learned what is LaTeX. Then we started with our first installation, that there is an offline version in the system, and there is also an online version, and we did most of our teaching or tutorial or workshop in the online version. Then we started writing our first LaTeX document. Then we discussed about what are the document classes: article, report, book, letter, beamer. Then we discussed the differences between article, report, and book classes. Then we discussed how the document content is between the begin document and end document. We discussed about page styles like empty, plain, and headings. Then we discussed about text formatting like bold, italics, underline. Then some size like tiny, subscript, superscript, small, normal, large, huge. Then about the text shapes like typewriting text and sans serif text and calligraphy text. We also discussed about the math mode. Then we talked about sections and paragraphs and how it's creating a table of contents. So here, if you see that the table of contents is created, and then we discussed about the geometry, how to set in portrait or landscape mode, also how to set the margins of the page. And then we talked about the page numbering, like you see in this document, the title page does not have any numbers. And then this header pages like table of contents, you can also create an abstract page, and that should not contain any number, or this will contain Roman numbers. Like we can create an abstract page for your demo, like abstract will come say before your contents. So maybe you can have a begin abstract, and here this is a tutorial workshop on LaTeX where more than 100 students are getting benefited with hands-on experience, something like that. Maybe we can create a new page. So this is our first page, then this is our abstract page. Now abstract page is not having number because it is with this. So page numbering, let us start in the abstract page. And let's see whether it gets a number or not. So abstract page still doesn't have a number. So let's try this abstract page before this. Now, do we have an abstract page number? It should be 1. It's not shown somehow, but let me remove this new page. And one more thing. So if you want to comment out some line, so you have to press percentage sign. Percentage sign comments out the specific line. So technically you have the number because this is 2 and this is 1, but somehow it's not showing. I'm not sure why it's not showing. So probably this page style empty, maybe because of this. If I write plain, still it's not showing. Okay, we have to look at that why it's not showing. This is coming here. Page numbering Roman. So now this is 2. This should be 1. Somehow it's not showing up, but this should be 1. Maybe a new page would do. This is page 2. Somehow it's not showing the page number here. That we'll figure it out. But then we discussed about the lists, and we discussed about ordered and unordered lists. And so do you have any questions? You can please let us know, or we can call it a day. And so please stay tuned for the afternoon session, and I'll be meeting you tomorrow, and I'll be discussing about some interesting things like math equations, figures and tables, bibliography and citations. Thank you so much.